What's up everyone, OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about Luigi's Mansion 3. This game really surprised me at E3. I knew it was going to be a good game when they first showed it off last year. We got a limited look, kind of a little bit of a teaser of what it was going to look like. But since then, Next Level Games and Nintendo have really been working hard at polishing up the game, making it look a lot better, and actually improving many features to the game that weren't in Luigi's Mansion 1 on the GameCube, the Luigi's Mansion remake on the Nintendo 3DS, and also Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. There's a lot of cool stuff in this game, and I wanted to make sure that I made a dedicated video on it to talk about all of the cool features, what I'm excited about, and how this game is going to surprise a lot of people. This might be a Game of the Year contender when it all comes down to it. There's a lot of cool things in this game, especially if the online mode works as well as it did in Dark Moon on the Nintendo 3DS, but doubling the player count. So let's go ahead and get into some of the about with the game in terms of what Nintendo described, the new features, and then we'll talk about it at the end here. So Luigi's Dream Vacation turns into a ghostly and gooey nightmare. Luigi embarks on a dream vacation with Mario and friends upon receiving an invitation to a luxurious hotel. However, his dream quickly becomes a nightmare when King Boo reveals everything has been a ploy to capture Mario and friends. With the assistance of Professor Egad, once again, the reluctant and cowardly hero Luigi traverses up and down treacherous floors of the now ominous hotel on a quest to save them. Wield the upgraded Poltergust G00 to slam and blow away the ghost defenses, or summon Luigi, an all-green doppelganger that can help Luigi overcome obstacles he can't get past alone. Interchange between Luigi and Luigi as one player, or grab a friend and control one each. For more frantic multiplayer action, race the timer to clear various objectives on a series of floors in Scarescraper mode. Scarescraper mode can be played online or locally with up to 8 players on 4 Nintendo Switch systems. So here are some of the key features of the game, which we'll be talking about a little bit more afterwards, and talk about some of the sales and the history of the franchise. So he may still be cowardly, but Luigi has more tools and abilities at his disposal than ever before. Master Luigi's new powerful moves of Slam, Suction Shot, and Burst, which is just really cool. I like the slam move that he was doing there during the trailer that they showed off during that nice, it was like 3 minutes plus of new footage, plus the treehouse gameplay as well. Really going to make Luigi a formidable opponent against these ghosts with that new slam shot, also the suction shot and burst as well. Now you can also team up with Professor Egad, of course, the good old trusty doc, or professor I should say, with the latest invention, the Luigi, an all green doppelganger able to slip through the tight spaces, walk on spikes, and otherwise help Luigi overcome obstacles he can't get past alone. Once again, that is a really cool addition, and they probably got that idea from what they did from Luigi's Mansion on Nintendo 3DS, that remake that was kind of panned by a lot of people when it comes to the graphics and some of the frame rate or whatever the case is, or why isn't this on the Nintendo Switch. I think they're kind of testing out ideas for what they were going to do with some of the co-op, because that was one of the things that you could do in the game. You can actually have a co-op partner in that Luigi's Mansion game on the Nintendo 3DS, and that was something that was completely new to the franchise in terms of the single player co-op function. We had multiplayer before, but we hadn't had single player co-op, or the campaign co-op in the game, I should say, more like a campaign co-op. So they were testing out some ideas, and I think it worked well enough for them to put that into a full-fledged game with Luigi's Mansion 3. So I love the fact at the end of the day that they did this. Now moving on to the next thing here, interchange between Luigi and Luigi as one player, or grab a friend and control each one at the same time. Once again, really cool on that end. I like the fact that they're putting in couch co-op. That's going to be really good for families. Also, if you have a brother or sister, whatever the case is, or a friend that just wants to play co-op streaming on Twitch, stuff like that is awesome. So I love when Nintendo puts in campaign co-op to when you don't expect it, right? You expect, okay, this is just going to be a single player game. They're going to have their online multiplayer, whatever the case is, but they say, okay, well, you can pass the Joy-Con or get another Pro Controller and somebody right there can play. It's going to lead to some awesome stream moments for people live streaming the game, or even people just playing the game on YouTube for Let's Plays. That is a nice addition, and I hope that Nintendo adds that to a lot of different games that you'd expect to be single player, and then maybe you can bust out some multiplayer. So maybe Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, or the sequel, is next for that. Now, the next thing here is you can explore the last resort, ascending through its different themed floors full of quirky contraptions and haunting enemies. Classic Luigi's Mansion there. So it looks like they're kind of going back to more of the Luigi's Mansion 1 style from what I've seen from the Treehouse gameplay gameplay, which you guys are seeing in addition to some of the trailer stuff, definitely looks like it's going to be more of that spooky feel to it than what they did with Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. And then you can also race the timer with up to 8 players to clear objectives on a series of floors in the Scare Scraper. So Luigi's Mansion is due out for the Nintendo Switch in 2019. I will talk about some people thinking that the game was going to get delayed and what Nintendo talked about in terms of on the release list with the Q4, and they kind of put it in there. Some people are kind of confused in terms of when it's going to come out and why they didn't announce it, and we'll talk about that in just a bit. But I do want to talk a little bit about the online modes here. So in the Scare Scraper mode, if you haven't played it on the Nintendo 3DS, that is a fantastic mode that works very well and it's really fun. If you haven't played it, check it out. It's still available for anybody to play on the Nintendo 3DS. The servers or whatever is still up, so you can play it and it's super fun. The only problem was just that, like, it wasn't really like added new modes to it. I mean, it's like a never-ending type of mode. You just keep going and going and going. So it's not like people were playing Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon for the Scare Scraper mode or for like the online multiplayer, but it works really well and it's actually really fun. The local multiplayer is cool too. So even if you have just like 2 people and you want to go online and play the game together against each other, or just the local play, that's also super fun. So even up to 4 people, but them putting it up to 8 players, the 3DS was 4, so this one's up to 8. So they're doubling the things here. In addition to adding that co-op feature from Luigi's Mansion on Nintendo 3DS, then doubling what they did with Dark Moon, this is the true sequel. This is the true evolution of the franchise that I think people didn't think would happen, and really impressed people with the treehouse gameplay and what they're doing. I'm really surprised that they added 8 players, doubled it up there, and even added a co-op mechanic in the single player game, in addition to adding what looks like a far more fleshed out single player mode and what we got in Luigi's Dark Moon and also the original Luigi's Mansion, because that game's super short. So it seems like they're going to really take this one up to the next level. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about the 2019 release. Some people are asking, well, why didn't they announce the release date? They could have easily said it. Well, there's actually a couple of reasons why. I still think that there's some stuff that they want to talk about this game. I still think there's a little bit more because they didn't really show too much with the story or what they're going to be doing with some of the other features in the game. I think there's more to it than what they showed off. And on top of that, like I've said before, and I'll say it again, E3 is not the be-all, end-all for Nintendo. We already had a Nintendo Direct back in February that was awesome. We also had other events leading up to it, like the Joker type of stuff, right, where they had a 15-minute presentation on Super Smash Brothers. Then we also had E3. We've had indie stuff as well. So there's going to be more Nintendo Directs, guys. There's going to be other big shows. I know it feels like this is it because it was E3 and there was so much stuff announced, but there's still more to be announced, which Nintendo did even say in their E3 presentation. So don't think just because they didn't announce the exact date that there isn't more to see on the game, that there isn't more for Nintendo to announce or to release, because I still feel, just like they do every single year, especially since the Switch launched, they always have that big fall direct. They always have that big September-ish direct that reveals a bunch of new third-party games, reveals more first-party stuff, and gives us exact release dates on games coming out within the next month or 2 months or whatever the case is. So a lot of games don't get dated until like right before they come out, or a month or 2, in order to get the release lineup and list kind of going there. So I still feel that we have more information to come on this, and I still think that there could be some type of exclusive bundle with this. Now, of course, once again, guys, this is not confirmed at this point. We've just had a lot of rumors, but there could be a Switch Mini or a Switch Pro type of bundle with Luigi's Mansion, or even some other type of hardware, right? It could just be like a regular Nintendo Switch that's themed after Luigi's Mansion 3. We saw that with Dragon Quest 11S in Japan. They got a themed Nintendo Switch. Maybe they're going to announce a themed Luigi's Mansion 3 Switch or something like that, or even Joy-Cons, right? Maybe they have special green Luigi Joy-Cons that they're going to sell with the game in some type of bundle that they're going to announce later. So I still feel that that is an option, and that's the reason why they haven't exactly locked down the date just yet. They want to get through all the games for the summer, they want to get through September and what they're doing there, and then October, November, December, they're probably going to talk about the next 3 months in a direct in September or very early October. They'll probably talk about that. So that's what I think that they're doing, because from right now at this point all the way through September, there are so many games. There's enough games to last from now all the way till like next year. Seriously, there's that many games. September has 3 first-party games. July also has 3 first-party games in terms of what Nintendo is publishing as well. And this month we have Mario Maker. So there's a lot to come out, guys. And August obviously is going to be big with Astral Chain, Oninaki, and more games coming too. So there's so many games coming out. There's literally no need to go that far. At least that's my impression of what they're doing. Then once we get through all of that, okay, then we can talk about the rest of the games for the rest of the year. So eat what's on your plate first, and then you can ask for seconds or thirds or fourths in this case. But either way, I'm excited to see the future for Luigi's Mansion. I think this franchise, this is probably going to be the best-selling one. The one on the Nintendo 3DS absolutely blew everybody's expectations out of the water when it comes to Nintendo. Miyamoto was super impressed with the sales. Actually did a hand-drawn custom thank you note, or congratulating Next Level Games on the sales success of Dark Moon on the 3DS. I think that this is easily going to top that in terms of what they did, and I think they did around 4 million or so, 4 to 5 million. I think they're going to do even more than that with Luigi's Mansion 3 when it's all said and done. Obviously not like the first month or anything like that, but they're going to sell a lot of this game, give it its nice spotlight, because I think a lot of people are going to be excited for it in terms of what they're offering. So what do you guys think about Luigi's Mansion 3 and all the new features that they're adding to the game? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go and check out the links in the description below. We got Facebook and Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Hit that like button if you did like this video. Let us know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for this RPG, Japanese, and Nintendo gaming news. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.